295.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Stacy.
We're going live.
You said 295, Mark?
Yep.
Dang, that's a lot of money, though.
295.
What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. And as you can tell, we've got some people here, of course. We started this right after the end of the season last year, which was the Dallas Cowboys. We are going to bitch about the team and the lack of moves and things that the Dallas Cowboys were doing as a way to get beyond the NFL season being over, and it's turned into, I don't know what it's turned into, but it's turned into something. And so let me get my crowd here. We got a few people already in here. If you are a channel member, you can click onto the community tab and hit the link, and you can join us. And so let me get the B.A.M. I guess Terrell Pinkney is the first one that's up here. What's up, Terrell? How are you doing?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm good. I just need to grab one thing over here. I am actually fantastic. Working on getting the man cave together over here for tomorrow's game day. These early games have a tendency to kind of mess me up because I have so much to do before 1 o'clock. And so on, and I think we're going to have actually quite a few people here. I think Rashid's going to be here. My sister and my brother's going to be coming over, and so on. We've got Michael Ward. His plane's probably landing as we're speaking now, coming in from California, because he's like, man, I want to come hang at Joe Boo Sports Report and watch a game with you guys. And I'm like, you coming all the way from Cali to do that? I'm like, okay. It might be better to go stop off, in Dallas there at the stadium. But hey, I'm cool with that. So, how's everybody doing today? Are we looking forward to seeing us play the Texans?
Oh, yeah.
Where we are literally 17-point favorites.
Yes.
Can you believe that?
I thought it'd be more than that.
Well, here's the thing that's crazy to me. And, I'm every week we get told we suck. We're just ass. We can't do anything right? And somehow we're 17-point favorites in a game. Can somebody explain it to me? Anybody? We're literally told that. I mean, when you listen to the talking heads, you would think we were the Texans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somehow we're 17-point favorites.
I don't know how. Did that Vegas make that line?
Yeah, I believe that Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not the talking heads. Now the question would
I think this game's going to be one of those games where we kind of experience, see where James Washington's going to be at, see how he does and stuff like that. So I can see it not being as a blowout like everybody thinks, because sometimes we have a tendency to come down on our competition, and you got to remember Kellen Moore saying, "Oh, I got another receiver, I got to throw the ball more." So.
No.
Yeah, you got to look at it from that aspect.
What's up, Paula Bettis? And
I just hope tomorrow we don't come out flat.
Let me say hello to Lola. What's up, Lola?
Right, Kellen Moore, he done bought another video
And
game
we got Stacy up in here.
Yep.
And I saw Angelica Baron. What's up, Angelica? All right, so you guys, are you feeling confident that we'll cover the spread? That's 17 points?
We
We'll
should.
cover it.
I think so.
I think so.
We will.
Well, I know Brandon Cooks is not playing for him, and they got David Mills. What's up, Alicia Morgan? How are you doing?
I think we might get off to a slow start, though. I think we'll pick it up in the second half, but that's kind of like when we played the Giants. They had all their injured players, and you see how bad we started out getting a couple interceptions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think once we get situated into the game, we'll start making adjustments.
The thing about the Cowboys is you actually get used to being in a groove. But it seems like the Cowboys, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it just seems that way, but we are always playing at different times. I mean, we never get any consistency. We got, a late game and then Thanksgiving game, and then we're, kind of a mini bye, and, then we're a night game, and then boom, now we're a 1 o'clock game. That it's hard to get into a groove and consistency.
Yeah.
Mark, have you ever noticed, have you ever just looked real close and noticed that we've always been known to start slow for some crazy reason?
Yeah, I just said that.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And, the Thanksgiving game, we started slow. The last Sunday night, we started slow.
Yeah.
And
I think we'll start slow again this week.
Well, I think
we start
the thing
slow,
is they don't panic. They don't panic. They just kind of go out. And I think some of that is the depth that they have and the youth. So when you're playing with some of these teams that don't have a lot, because you think about how many guys get rotated in on the defensive front, you wear down the offenses, and that defense all of a sudden starts making more and more plays as the games go on. And even in the offensive line, we are very, very young on the offensive line, and that's one of those things you start wearing the other team out. And in fact, I need to talk to Brother Roz too. I'm curious where our offensive line ranks.
Is he still in Florida?
No, he's back home. And I've been, since Thanksgiving, I've been messing up and not getting in touch with him as much, and he's been busy. Everybody's getting busy getting ready for the holidays and all that. And I know it's been hectic.
Well, I think next week we'll start off slow. I mean, you guys know Tyron Smith's coming back next week, right?
Mm-hmm. More than likely, yeah.
So the question is he going to start, or are they going to work him in, or are they going to move, Tyler Smith over? A lot of those questions.
Oh, I think I think that's a definite. The way they've been moving him over with Jason Peters, and even with just Jason Peters, who is 40 years old. You've seen Jason Peters, being able to just hold that corner, and seeing Tyler Smith being able to go downfield. And if you've got Tyron Smith back anywhere close to where he used to be, that offensive line is really going to take off and really be able to do a lot more than it did in the past.
Yep.
And that's my hope. But I was sitting here looking at the numbers and realizing that we have kind of an evolution at wide receiver, because Michael Gallup is not, he's becoming more of a possession receiver. Anybody else thought that?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
He, one year he averaged 16.3 yards per reception. Now it's down to about 10. I'm not sure that he's, this season at least, if he's ever going to be that deep threat. And we don't really have that deep threat right now.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that he hasn't been going deep lately.
And that's where I'm hoping that actually James Washington might be. We don't need James. Well, actually, I don't know that Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be Odell Beckham Jr. But looking at the numbers, when you look at what Noah Brown's doing, Noah Brown's averaging about 13.3, catches. And also some of those numbers are skewed because when we had Kellen Moore and we were more of a ball control offense. If we can get James Washington to be that outside threat to stretch the field,
the defense.
Yeah, to take the top off the defense. That's what we have not had at all this season. And see, it used to be that Michael Gallup was able to do that because you had CD and Amari Cooper. Well, you've got kind of, Michael Gallup, who's catching balls in traffic, and he's getting good at that too. You notice a lot of the catches he's making, people are draped all over him. And he is doing well with that, but you are able to kind of creep down on the defenses if you don't have somebody who can get down the field like that. And that's what I'm hoping that James Washington is able to do. And, as much as everybody was excited about, getting Odell Beckham Jr. and things, I'm actually okay without it. Looking at the numbers and hearing some of the things from Odell, he just likes the limelight. When he went to Cleveland originally and said, we're going to be like New England Patriots, right? He said, we're going to be like the New England Patriots. We're going to be good every year and things. And then proceeded to hold out of workouts in the off season. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, not to mention you got to worry about
team player, Mark.
Yeah, and of course now it's and maybe he misspoke, but this whole thing of I could play regular season, but why do I need to? I've played a lot of games. I've got experience. I don't need to play regular season games. So you mean all the work that everybody's doing to get us to the playoffs, you are negating all of that work? You mean that doesn't mean anything? You're only here for the glory? Screw you.
My thing is this. My thing is, I'm done with OBJ. If
Same
Jerry
here.
want to go ahead on and sign him,
I think he's an arrogant SOB.
go ahead. But right now, we're doing our thing. We're handling our own business. We don't need nobody to come in with this attitude and mess up our chemistry. We don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Exactly what I was going to say, Thomas.
That'll be another TO.
Hey, Clifford.
Another TO situation.
Exactly.
Oh, damn. Oh, look, you know what? He's literally like a genie. It's Brother. I mentioned Brother Roz, and look, he appeared. It's Genie. Look. Only thing he didn't say, yes, master. No, okay. Brother Roz says we're the number 11 O-line. McGovern is the weak spot, but Hughes only. Okay. So if Brother Roz is telling me that we're the number 11 offensive line, Brother Roz, I know this would be projecting. If we were able to get Tyron Smith back to where he was, and I'm not saying being an all-pro, but being, say, a top 10 tackle and putting Tyler Smith at guard, don't you think that we would be middle of the top 10 offensive line?
Yep.
Because what's amazing, here's what's amazing, and I'll pull it up in a second, but is where the offensive line is in comparison to what people thought. Remember how everybody was like, oh, we got to get another center, Connor Williams, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Biotish is ass, and everybody's like, we got to get a center. But you don't hear about Biotish anymore. And if you don't hear an offensive line, if you don't hear a name on an offensive line, it's because you're doing good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I can't think of really any missed snaps he's had this season compared to last season.
Well, everybody's had some few bad plays. I mean, Terrence Steele has played really well. Although the first game, I think he had 3 penalties, and another game, I think he had 2 or so false starts. And then he's had like 2 clunker games. But for the most part, he's become one of the better offensive tackles in the NFL. Brother Roz will either tell me I'm crazy, where I'm an idiot. He'll either tell me I'm an idiot.
You're an idiot.
He might tell me I'm an idiot on that one, and I may be. But I think that Terrence Steele is developing into one of the better right tackles in the league. And you look at the youth that we have on there, they're becoming road graders. And what at least I saw with Jason Peters in there, when we put Tyler Smith at
right guard, left guard.
And you put, put him at left guard, and Tyler Smith back at left tackle. That seeing him out there playing the way he was and getting upfield and literally just looking for little guys to maul, that the offensive line could really be really good and help us to continue to run. An interesting statistic, everybody talks about how good the Eagles running game is. They run the ball more than we do, but we still run 0.2 of a yard better per carry than the Eagles and the Giants both. The amazing thing about it is we actually run better on the road. We're averaging like 156 yards on the ground on the road.
No, Mark.
What? What do you mean no?
We ran for 240 yards last Sunday night.
No. I'm saying average. I
know.
On the road. And here's what's key. I don't know that the Eagles are going to lose with the schedule that they have. Unfortunately, our mistake was losing to the Packers. That was the game that you looked at and said,
that was game
you screwed up. Yeah. Because had you won that game, then you playing against the Eagles would be straight up for the division pretty much. But we lost that game that we shouldn't have.
That was a game that we let get through our hands. And, I just hope that game right there don't be, the turning point of what we're trying to do going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But what I was going to tell you, Mark, was we ran for 240 yards against Indianapolis last Sunday night. Indianapolis had one of the best defensive lines in the league. And that's something that nobody's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that's key is we're able to really run the football. And if Tyron Smith, did I see primetime in here?
That's primetime.
Primetime. I thought I saw Primetime in there. See, Primetime comes in.
Yeah, I'm running around here.
Yeah, see, what's funny
he's
is
in here.
Primetime comes in and he don't say nothing. You know,
No.
he's just kind of like that YouTube. You know, he's just kind of watches. And
Yeah,
listens.
last time I came in here, you guys were talking some mad racial stuff. So that's why I was like, wait, well, let me jump in here. Don't say something that could be screwed wrong, you know.
Well, this isn't Twitter, okay? And see, here's the thing that's crazy about Twitter. If you're going on Twitter, have your boxing gloves and helmet on.
Oh yeah.
Because you're in for it. It doesn't matter what the subject is. Everything is a freaking fight when you go in. It's just crazy.
It is.
You can, and look, if you make a comment one way or the other, it's like a pack of wolves that are pouncing on a piece of meat. It's like, damn, you can't say anything over there, man.
Mark, Twitter's gangster. It is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
Real gangster.
everybody is just
Cowboy-
looking to beat somebody up.
Cowboy
Facebook's
fan
the same
talk.
way.
I was listening to Cowboy fan talk a few nights back, and he told us, he said, "Man, I can't go into Twitter, man, to save my life. You know, I go in there, man, and I'm always arguing and raising hell with somebody.
No matter
You know,
what you say, you're always going to have. There's always going to be that one person that's going to have a different opinion.
Yeah, you could also be
Right.
supporting somebody and just what they said, and bam.
To give you an example, the Odell Beckham thing I put on there, I said, so how do y'all feel about Odell Beckham now after the remarks that he made? And of course, you know, you got those people, well, I would have did the same thing, you know, so it's like, you know, there's always going to be that one person that's going to disagree with what you have to say.
But you know, sometimes I think actually, here's the thing. Sometimes I think it's by design that there's the troll bots and everything else that want to have you just fighting and pissed off each other on there. And I'll give you a perfect example because, I mean, this was, I guess, maybe 2016, 2017 or something. This was in, can't think of, it's where, the Rose Capital of the world down in Texas. Tyler, Texas. Yes,
Tyler, Texas.
This is when I used to be on the B.A.M. Emery show. There was the whole swimming pool where all the black kids came to the pool.
Yeah, I heard about that.
B.A.M. Emery lived in that community. Okay, now here's what's crazy. There was a guy out there had a long beard before the beards were cool. It was almost like a ZZ Top. And if you looked at him, you'd say, that guy's a racist. Right? If you go by looks, and I say don't judge a book by its cover. But this guy was a friend of mine, basically from Facebook. Before I really got into YouTube, we had an NFC East trash talking group that had about 150 of us in there. And I had a layover in Dallas for like 4 hours or so going out to see my daughter in California. And he said, I'd love to meet you, man, hang out with you. Right. And so I'm literally flying to Dallas. He's picking me up at the airport. Somebody I've never met before, never seen or anything like that. And, you know, when I met him and stuff, at first I'm like, whoa, okay. And I texted my wife and said, this is the guy I was last seen with if I don't come back around. Right. But he ended up being one of the nicest people that you have ever met in your life. Big fan of the show and everything else, and big supporter. In fact, he introduced me to B.A.M. Emery, and that's how I got started on there. When this pool incident happened, people were out there saying he was out there fighting, that this guy was a racist and this, that, and the other, and, you know, vilifying him. You know, the funniest thing was, if he was a racist, he was the worst one in the world because, one, he was a friend of mine. Two, he was wearing a Jobu t-shirt. He had a Jobu t-shirt on. He brought bottles of water for the girl that was on the sidewalk that, you know, the police had handcuffed and everything. You know, he had brought out a towel for another guy who got a busted lip and stuff. But they made this guy out to be a racist. Oh, he's out there fighting people, this, that. And it literally made his life hell because, you know, here it was, both sides were using him, you know, propping him up or tearing him down. And it literally was just like he couldn't go out of his home. And that's how Twitter is now to the nth degree. If you, with the whole Micah Parsons, and see, Micah did, you know, he went out there and said, oh, hell no, we're leaving a Marine behind. I understand his point. I agree. You know, I don't want none of our people locked up there. It wasn't about, oh no, we should have left her there. But people just pounded on you And it just got to be ugly. It's just like, whoa. The best way to play Twitter is just not to play unless you want to get in there and mix it up. It's just ugly.
That's why I got rid of my Twitter account. I mean, but whether it's social media or mainstream media, if you create these fake fights or real fights, arguments, fake information, it's creating traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if it's social media or regular media. It's all about
sports
and views.
Yep.
See,
and Micah just said what Micah said. A lot of people were thinking, but were afraid to say. So
Well, it's here's the thing, but it's everything that's evolved that way. Because remember, it used to be when you used to watch ESPN. Oh my God, I was the biggest ESPN fan when it came out because they gave you the highlights, they gave you the news on it and all, and then you could make your own opinion on what was going on. Now everything is forced onto you, the opinion that you should have.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, ESPN was the worldwide leader in sports.
That was their moniker.
And I would hurry home to watch Sports Center. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I would hurry home to watch Sports Center because you wanted to know what happened.
Yeah.
Now
they're turning into a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
They're turning into a joke.
Yeah,
well, it's everything though.
It's
I don't care what news you watch. Everything has, is about division. You're trying to get, a reaction because, like you said, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about people watching.
And what's so sad about all of this is it has become more of a reality show now.
Everything is a reality show now.
Yeah, it is. And that's sad because, back then you had real news reporters.
Mm-hmm.
You had real sports anchors. But now it's sad.
You don't have journalists. You have opinions.
No.
Right.
No.
Well, we've kind of gotten off the rails. But my advice is when you go on Twitter, just be prepared for a fight. So Brother Roz is like, so no football again. Okay, so back to Brother Roz. Brother Roz, hypothetically, if we get 90% of a Tyron Smith back in and we move Tyler Smith to left guard, do you think that for right guard?
Right?
No, we're gonna keep him on the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm
got,
with you, Mark.
Huh? You
got Terrence Steele on the right.
What did I say?
Right.
Did I have a brain fart? Left tackle Tyron Smith and move Tyler back to left guard. We're just taking it from left tackle to left guard.
Mark, I had a brain fart.
Okay. I might have said right tackle, because...
No, you did, Mark. It's me, brother.
Okay.
It's me, dude.
But basically, taking Tyler Smith and moving him in from tackle to guard and putting in Brother Roz, I'm not here. Okay, so Brother Roz, then who is it, your Essence that's commenting then? Or is that Stuart Morrison commenting for you? Okay. This is my premise. And I'm going to go back to, since we're going back to football, sorry everybody who's here for football, and we got off the rails about what happened in Tyler, Texas, and just trying to put it out there. Don't necessarily believe everything that you hear. Get a couple of opinions, do your own research, and then come up. But remember when the draft happened?
Tackle Tyler Smith.
That's clear of...
okay, Jerry, let me go a little further.
Put that thing down.
First of all, no, I don't buy it. Because everything that I had seen up until this point, he was ranked somewhere in the 40s on everybody's.
Kuiper had him 33, but go ahead. Yeah.
33, that was the earliest.
Yeah.
But
John McGrew, shout out to you.
Daniel Jeremiah had him at like 42. I've seen some publications had him in the 50s.
Okay.
So
I don't doubt it.
Let's just say, okay, let's split the difference. We'll say he's like high 30s, maybe even low 40s.
Okay.
You take him at 24. If you're going to take an offensive lineman, Skip, I'll take Tyler Linderbaum. Because if you think about it.
I agree. Iowa, a center.
And your run game hadn't been the same since who retired, Skip?
Thank you. That guy.
So
first round pick.
Now, Tyler Linderbaum, of course, was gone.
Just perennial Pro Bowler.
Yes.
Watch Linderbaum. Watch what happens. You just know he'll be a perennial plug.
Yeah, but Linderbaum went after Tyler, though.
Just
did he?
He'll start
I thought
making
he-
Yeah, after
promos.
Tyler Smith.
Go ahead.
Hey, you're
Oh,
exactly
I
right.
thought he
But
was
Skip
gone
Jerry
before.
said, well,
Okay.
we're not going
Oh,
to
we
take
gotta
guys
tell
with
the
red
folks.
flags. What about yellow flags? Because this guy was flagged.
Let me ask
this guy
Brother
was
Ross,
flagged
how is
16
Tyler
times
Linderbaum
last year.
doing in
12 of
comparison
them for
to
holding.
Tyler
The
Smith?
Cowboys, the most penalized offensive line in football. Now you
The most penalized team.
Team in football.
Yes,
excuse me.
thank you.
Skip. And the offensive line was penalized more than any other offensive
Absolutely.
line.
So, how would we have been if we had drafted that guy?
You're 16. You realize he had 16
But he's not versatile,
flags
though.
to
He's a
Tyler
center.
Smith at Tulsa in
I know,
12 games.
but that was their
If you took
thing.
the 16
They just said
into the
instead of taking
17
this guy, you
NFL
should have taken a
season,
center.
And we
That
still
would
would have
be
been
the
answering
league.
questions
Even
on the offensive
at
line right
17.
now.
Oh, we've been screwed.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we were
We would have been
screwed.
screwed because Tyron Smith was who's going to be playing tackle then.
No, this year anyway.
Yeah, he's been in and out of the lineup.
and help your run game because Skip, then you were strong at all points.
Yeah.
You had Ty Smith, you had Zach Martin, and you had Frederick. Zeke was running up and down. Everybody, Zeke.
Yeah. So had we listened to that, we should have taken Tyler Linderbaum, a center. But
screwed.
Biotish has actually played great.
Yeah, he's played well this season so far.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
and
Biotish
the
is on the
offensive
verge
line
of
has
going
been
to the
pretty
Pro Bowl this year.
consistent.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my buddy to get back in here. Gina Thorne, what's up, Gina?
Well, things that I thought was interesting is Tyler kind of mentioned that Peters coming in has taught him some techniques that he didn't know, and it's kind of helped limit his holding problem he was having problem. And they kind of mentioned it during Sunday Night Football, but you can definitely see Peters' influence on that line, even when he's not playing.
Okay. Linderbaum is a 69 overall, 77 run blocking, but he sucks at pass blocking.
He does.
Well, here's my thought is Jason Peters holds the edge. Jason Peters is a great pass blocker. He's not as good as a run blocker. But if you get Tyron Smith back, who, if he's healthy and can stay healthy, and that's a big if. I know that's a big if. But we're only talking about, 4 games in regular season and hopefully, like 3 games in the playoffs. If he can hold up through that, then we could really have a magnificent running game that just kind of enhance what we're already doing. Again, we're averaging 147 yards a game right now, 4.8 yards a carry. If we can really run the football, and my other point is if James Washington can take the top off the defense, he doesn't have to be, the best wide receiver out there. He doesn't have to give us that much more because we're looking at what we've been getting from basically Noah Brown and a bunch of other guys, and nobody's really able to get deep. If he can just be Cedric Wilson from last year, not this year. Am I crazy or just plain stupid?
No, I agree.
No, I agree.
We've already seen what this coaching staff can do with players that they said, oh, they're done, they can't do this, and they've come to Dallas and been remarkable. We saw that with some of the defensive players when Coin came in. Washington still has that size. He still has the speed. I could see him being the player that he used to be and the player that people always said he could be.
Well, I would say this much because you think about most of the guys we've got and a lot of Brazos, realistically, total consistency on offensive line is the key to your success. That maintains anyone can rotate through. Okay. Yeah. I will say that a healthy Tyron Smith versus Jason Peters or Tyler Smith at tackle and Connor McGovern with Tyler Smith at guard and Tyron Smith out there, that could be really, really consistent, actually really, really nice on that left-hand side. But here's the thing that's kind of interesting. How many times have we signed somebody as a free agent with the Cowboys and we've gone like, yes, we got that guy. This is going to be great.
You know what, Mark?
We never do.
It's crazy because, every time we sign a player like that, everybody want to, all the Cowboy fans want to assassinate the guy.
Right.
Last person I can think of was Amari Cooper.
Well, but that wasn't a free agent. That was a trade for.
Yeah,
but think about like Malik Hooker. Think about Jaron Kearse. Think about
But we didn't
Donovan
think that right
Wilson,
off the bat. We didn't grab
even
them and go,
Dante
"Oh my
Fowler
God,
this
we're
year. Who out there said, "Wow, we got Dante Fowler. This is a great move." He's got 5 sacks, and you're paying him a bag of peanuts.
Yeah, but after being
people have been raving
starved,
about Anthony Barr.
Yeah,
but he's been okay, but he hasn't lived up to like
it's $2 million.
Talked about.
Yeah, a little
we
to
need
the
to
hype.
get that guy.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
So
hold on, you got a Dante Fowler, you got and an Anthony Barr, you got a Turpin, right? And I'm trying. Who else we signed that's playing valuable time for us right now? I mean, that's only like $5 million a year. That's not even half of Von Miller. We've gotten so many guys that are young and consistent that were no names that actually are playing well. This team is playing well. This is a team. And see, this is what New England used to do. Think about New England. New England never had more than like 4 or 5 guys that were Pro Bowlers, right? But every year they were always winning Super Bowls. Why? Because they had depth. It wasn't 8 or 9 great players, and then when you lose 2 or 3, your team is ass, which is usually our problem. It's always having, we've taken hits all over the place.
They've had quality backups.
That's the key.
Yeah,
that's the key.
New,
step right in.
New England had quality. They had quality players in depth, and they also these players
they didn't have superstars though.
They knew how to showcase them to make other teams want to jump and say, "Oh snap, we got to get them," and then they was able to get draft picks. Bill Belichick was a genius on that. I give him credit for that.
Yeah, but and he recognized it's not about just the starting 22. It's about being able to use 35 guys and be able to rotate in there. And if I lose one of those really good players, I've got a decent one that's going to go in there. So I'm not stepping back down. So many times you've seen Tyron Smith go out and the offensive line is now shit. You saw when Sean Lee went out years ago, how we literally were giving up 100 yards more. But for us to go ahead and say, okay, Anthony Barr's now hurt, but now we got Damone Clark that can step in. You end up saying, okay, Sam Williams has got the illness. He can't play. Well, it's okay. We got Dante Fowler that can play. That we've had guys that we can go ahead and look in here. We haven't lost, with the exception of our quarterback. We were lucky as shit that we were a good team all the way around, and they were able to play a game plan and win with Cooper Rush. But you've seen so many teams that'll lose an offensive lineman or lose a defensive player, and all of a sudden the whole thing goes to shit. Our depth is what's carried us this far this year.
Yep. Yeah. And I got to give Catboy credit. Catboy, I was bashing him.
Oh, we all were.
We all were.
Well, he's kind of got a little. He's got something going now because you look at our record. I mean, I would have thought when I looked at our record and I see all the players we got rid of, I thought we might be lucky if we win 5 games. But here we are at only lost three games, and we did it without Dak Prescott for several of those games. Cooper Rush came in, he only lost 1 game, so we've been doing pretty good.
And I would even say, being from Florida, I would say Dante's playing with the same energy he did at Florida compared to the energy he played at Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Well, with Atlanta, the problem with that was he was the guy. There was nobody else on that defense. So everybody focused in on, if we stop Dante Fowler, there ain't nobody else to stop. And he's playing better, of course, because he's got better people around him. That always helps. So you got Micah Parsons on one side getting all the attention. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier for everybody else.
Yeah, because it's just after a while, it just seemed like he didn't have the energy when he was in Atlanta. Where now being in Dallas, he's got that energy. You see the passion of the game has come back to him.
Right.
And and just think, Anthony Barr was the man on that defense up in Minneapolis.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, our depth is definitely key on the season and should be going forward. To even losing Zeke there for that game and him slowly coming back, having Tony Pollard being the weapon that he is, and having Zeke on top of it. Between the two of them, we are headed for about 2,000-yard rushing season, which is what you definitely want to have if you want to be a Super Bowl team. I know the fantasy football players out there look at Dak Prescott and say, you want to see Dak throwing 300, 350 yards and this, that, and the other. But if you're talking about winning football games, you want about 250 yards from your quarterback, and you want to get about 150 yards plus from your running game. You do that, most times you're going to be winning games, and that's what it needs to be about. is winning games. Chuck says I'm crazy. You're crazy. How are you a fan of a team and you just cry and never cheer for your team to win? Who are we talking about, Splash Broda?
That's crazy.
And you never cheer for your team to who's a fan of a team and never cheers for them to win?
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm confused on that one.
The root word of fan is fanatic.
I'm not going
I never heard some crazy shit like that.
Mark, I'm not going to comment on that because I'll probably say
I
something.
think he's talking about somebody else.
Okay.
Well, but Spice Broda is 100% right, because here's the thing that's kind of crazy. And Eagle fans will lie. Oh, there's only 2 games different for what? Okay, whatever, buddy. But their strength of schedule so far this year has been 27th hardest schedule in the league. Ours has been 11th.
Well, we was first place last year, so we had all the first place teams.
Yeah. And
next year they'll have a harder schedule.
And, when you think of, because this is what's always amazing to me is because, right now, there's talk of, Cincinnati actually sneak in and get the number 1 seed, in the AFC. This team is great and doing all those things. We shut them down and beat them with the backup quarterback. We don't get credit for that. Yeah. We beat Minnesota. Well, destroyed Minnesota 40-3, and they're the number 2 seed right now. We don't get credit for that.
And I know the Eagles are feeling themselves right now.
Oh,
but
my
they got to look back to 2 years ago what the Steelers did. They're doing the exact same thing that the Steelers did. They went undefeated. They lost to Washington, coincidentally, but then they got in the playoffs and they got their asses handed to them.
Somebody's got a cracking mic.
Yep.
Somebody's mic is cracking.
Pittsburgh literally self-destructed that year.
Yeah.
I think it's Terrell's headset.
So I got family that's Eagles fans, and they're always putting stuff on Facebook. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
but you guys lose.
Terrell, your
but
mic
they act like they're the best thing in the world right now.
It's like really cracking hard.
But like I said, if you don't have that depth, you're not going to be able to beat the other teams down, especially come playoff time.
What's up, Asa Robinson? How are you doing? And I see the mailman has come home from doing all the deliveries. What's up, mailman? We got prime time and game time up in here. What's going on?
What's up, man? I literally just got home like 10 minutes ago. So it was actually an easy day for me today.
Yeah, it's very rare for me and him to be on the same broadcast.
I'm serious.
Yeah, it's weird. Hey, Phil.
Except on your show at 7 o'clock.
Is that better, Mark?
Hey, Mark.
That's much better, Terrell. Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Aisha? Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mark, I got some good news. My mom is coming home soon.
Oh, great to hear, Aisha.
She got me an outpatient at home, though.
That is great news. I'm glad to hear for you. The power of prayer is working.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what's your Giants going to do tomorrow? That's the big question.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, Aisha,
what's your Giants going to do tomorrow? That's the big question.
We better do good tomorrow. I know that.
This is one of those things that I hate because I can't stand either of the teams, the Eagles and the Giants, but I know I need the Eagles to lose. And I don't want to hear Hizzle go huh?
We're Giants fans.
No,
Come on, Mark.
No.
We have to be.
Aisha.
Yeah, I just don't see the Eagles losing.
Do me a favor tomorrow.
I'm not saying they're going to lose, but I live down here. The weather is
Ward
crappy.
family. Okay, now the Ward family. That's Michael Ward. He has come across the country.
Ward.
Yeah, Michael Ward.
A little too hard on the Beaver last night.
Who was?
Ward.
Ward was too hard on the Beaver. What are you talking about?
You never heard that joke, Mark?
No, I haven't.
Ward, you were a little too hard on the Beaver last night.
Oh, okay.
Leave it to Beaver.
I thought that was a porn reference.
Come on, Stacey.
Hey,
come on,
Ward, you're a little too hard on that Beaver last night there, buddy.
I get what you're saying, Brian.
Okay.
You don't leave it to Beaver.
All right.
Brian,
Ward is actually in town for the game. He's going to be over here. He's actually coming in town. So, okay, somebody's got the telecast on. All right, you can't listen to us and be on the chat. So mute your mic. Whoever is listening, mute your mic. Is that you, Aisha?
He's actually coming in town.
Oh, okay. Somebody has.
Somebody's echoing.
You can't
Okay, who is? Somebody is listening. Okay, there we go. I don't know who that was.
My fault. That was me, Mark. That's my fault.
Okay, yeah, you can't listen to the broadcast and have your mic open because it's timed out differently. Okay, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I going to root for the New York Giants to beat the stinking Eagles. You know,
me too.
I know I have to. I mean, but you know how happy Pizzle would be.
Yeah, he would be.
Can we actually take that now? See, tomorrow I'm not going to be broadcasting the live stream. Okay,
if they beat the Eagles tomorrow, he'd be saying, "Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl," because you know he is.
Yeah, well, your team lost to us twice.
I'm not going to go that far.
No, Pizzle would though. He'd be like, "Oh, we going to be the Super Bowl champs."
You're a long way from the Super Bowl team.
Yeah. And you got Barkley has got a hurt neck, so I'm sure he'll play. But how effective will he be?
Yeah, I'm cool where we're at, though. You know, I don't want to be the number one seed. And I'd rather be where we're at because we're playing under the radar. That puts more pressure on the Eagles.
It doesn't matter this year, James. We ain't getting no respect from nobody this year.
No,
so
we're not.
It don't matter what.
So everybody's overlooking us.
Even if we beat the Eagles, they're going to say, it'll always be something. So, like I said,
you're right. You're right.
I mean, listen,
people just love to hate us. That's the way it is.
Yeah, just get into the game tomorrow. It's going to be nasty weather up north, so it's going to be a little windy. So Eagles aren't going. I'll be surprised if Eagles roll. The only thing that hurts is Leonard Williams is doubtful. That's a big deal. So if Leonard Williams doesn't play for the Giants, then
and Barkley.
Well, if Barkley don't play, it's a wrap. He's alone. Him and Slayton's having a good year. But, you know, I'm still holding out hope that Christmas Eve game will be for the division. You know, I'm not saying that we won't choke it up in Tennessee, Thomas. I hope not. But
No. That ain't happening.
I'm hoping so, but, you know, Tennessee's tough. They are.
Yeah, they're a good team. And they like to run the ball, and that's something we struggle at stopping the run. So, you know, they're going to be running the hell out of it.
I'm not worried about that game yet, but I'm just saying it would just be a Cowboy thing to get to the point, beat the Eagles, and then spit the bit the next week. But
I mean, if we win the next two games, there's no doubt in my mind we'll make the playoffs.
We're in the playoffs.
We're gonna make the
we'll make the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Yes.
Do me a favor, baby.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
Please be Philadelphia tomorrow. I'm begging.
I'm gonna try to.
I'm literally begging. Beat Philadelphia tomorrow. Tennessee couldn't get the job done last week. Sorry asses. Beat Philadelphia tomorrow.
That wasn't even close.
Titans played more like the Oilers did last week.
Now y'all should be able to beat the Texans.
Yeah, we should.
We should.
To them, this is probably like their Super Bowl, so you know they're going to be up for this game. So I just hope all of our team is up for this game as well, because it could be a trap game easily.
I don't know that they want to win any games right now. They're in the number one spot for the draft, and they definitely need. They need to get
you're right. They need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have so many needs across the board.
Eastside Harold.
Reese the Beast. Is it Eastside in? Oh, there's Eastside. We won't see him after tomorrow.
Houston could be missing their top two receivers too tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, Cooks ain't playing.
Cook's not playing.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks is out.
Reese the Beast. Shout out to Reese the Beast for the super chat. Please no, Paula Bettis. Please no negativity.
I know Cooks is out, but the other one didn't dress as well.
Well, they put Davis Mills back in, which he is the better quarterback. He's the better quarterback.
Marylon, Brandon didn't need to necessarily be timed out for that. I mean, he didn't.
I missed it. What I missed?
Oh no, the Eagles' skill position talented with Brown, Smith, Goddard are far better than Dallas. Not close. That's the biggest difference between Philly and Dallas. That's not anything to really time somebody out with. You know, it's more of when somebody attacks somebody else. I mean, they want to come in and talk about that their team's good like that. As long as they're not like spamming stuff like that, we get a little too sensitive sometimes with the Eagle fans and stuff.
I don't think I've ever blocked anybody other than if you're using foul language or if you're really going after somebody. Like one dude wanted to knock all my teeth out. Like,
oh yeah, I've got plenty of those.
It's like, all right, man.
Eastside Herald says, Mark, I'm not going nowhere. I'm family, father-in-law.
Eastside Herald.
Trying to.
This is it, big guy. It's game week. I know you're in a tough spot. We've been there before, my man. So,
how does it feel, Eastside, being the NFC East bitch?
Damn. Shots fired.
I mean, I'm just wondering, how does it feel?
Shots fired. Shots fired.
David, David, are you going to be here tomorrow, buddy?
He knows better.
David, I haven't seen you in so long, man. I forgot what you look like, bro. Can you invite a coworker over tomorrow?
He hasn't been there.
Okay, no, he's been busy. Mama's been tying him down.
Well, he did contact me, and he says until I come back, he's not coming. So.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, David. Yeah, text me, David.
Gina.
Have you done a background check on him? Lisa.
New York beatdown. What's up, bitch?
Texas got one more win in them. They got one more win? Okay. All right. We'll see. Gina Thorne, what's up? What's up? Angelica. Yeah, Angelica, I was hoping that you were going to be in the live stream earlier when I was in the workshop sanding those. So sorry.
Were you singing, Mark? Were you singing Christmas carols?
Oh, no. I was actually working in the workshop because I got a couple of prints that I was making.
You sending my picture with my mother?
We're working on that one too. The thing is that picture is not a great clear picture. And so when it's not real clear, it's not a lot of contrast. We cut it once and it just didn't have enough detail into it. So we're trying to redo it. And Rashid will be here tomorrow.
My mom's a Cowboy fan.
Oh, is she? And you couldn't send me a better picture
She's
of her?
A good woman.
That's the only picture I have, Mark.
Okay. All right.
Is Rashid going to be melting down tomorrow?
Is Rashid going to be melting down tomorrow? Well,
we can't see Philly 500.
Let him know that he's got to be crying tomorrow.
Now, let me ask you this question. If you were looking at it on another screen that has nothing to do with the live stream,
I will be.
Is that okay?
I'm gonna be. Yeah, I'm just not gonna stream it.
So you can watch it on your cell phone.
Yeah.
And just not stream
No, he just doesn't want to see his meltdown. He said I can't live stream him or Philly 500s because basically what he's trying. Here's the thing.
I did see that last.
Here's what it is he knows that they got no chance and he's looking for an out.
I don't think
that's what he's doing. He's looking for. If Mark Holmes does.
You know what I think it is, Mark? I think it's by bringing your name up.
He gets clout.
It opens doors and more people and more views and everything. So that's what he's doing. I actually think the Giants have a decent chance tomorrow.
I got some news.
We got some news. What's the news?
Dak and Zeke were fined for jumping in the
game. $13,300 each.
Oh my God! We can't have fun anymore.
We knew that was happening.
We knew that was coming.
It doesn't matter. Jerry's going to give him a nice Christmas gift. Trust me. That was already. Listen,
you can't even have fun anymore.
They're going to make more.
That's what I hate about football.
Whatever happened to having fun?
Yeah,
more people are going to donate to that charity because they did that. So who cares about the 13,000?
If anything, that brings more publicity to it. They should actually make that a whole campaign. There's
a reason, Mark. NFL doesn't care. They have to do it. This is the first year I've ever seen where they had two in either.
No, they usually have two.
It wasn't just one.
No, they usually have two. They usually
each end zone.
End zone. Yeah, they've always had.
Okay, I don't remember seeing that.
But
and then plus game time, Brian. That was how I was told. I was told that was already planned anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Zeke, listen, man, it's home for Zeke. It's part of Thanksgiving. If you don't like it, oh well.
So did they find Ferguson and all them as well?
Yes,
they did. Yeah. They were like, and the thing that was weird about it is the way they find them, because they find like Hendershot like 7,000, and then Jake Ferguson was like 8, and it was like it wasn't equal. And the way they did, it's like
it's a percentage of their
is that what it
money,
is?
Mark,
or their
how it was
performance
broken down.
If their performance was really good, maybe.
I think it was a percentage.
I think that when
how
you
much
stuck
they're
your hand
hated
out
by
and
the
did that
NFL.
whole thing, that was terrible. He got fined more money. I mean, come on.
It was just kind of crazy. But, yeah.
So what about when the Eagles, they were out there showboating last week when they scored touchdowns against the Titans? They didn't get fined.
Well, but see what they said, though, Gina, was
That's
because
the
he
same thing.
was winding the box up, so he was part of the skit.
Yeah.
You know
Roger
what?
Goodell got it out for us. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean,
even the
remember
fine
last
committee,
year?
the
You
main
remember
guy for
last
the
year
fine
when CD
committee
was
is the
fined
Eagle.
twice for having his shirt tail out?
Yeah, I remember that.
I see it all
The
the time.
only
I see
player that was
players-
ever fined for having his shirt tail out. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding
Bill,
me?
you said the head of the committee was an Eagle.
Yeah, the head of that fine committee is an actual ex-Eagle. So.
That's Troy
Oh,
Vincent.
no.
Okay.
I thought it was the offensive tackle.
No, it's Troy Vincent.
He's part of it, but I thought
Yeah, you're talking about the offensive tackle. Yes.
yeah,
the
where
main
his
guy.
son's playing in Michigan.
Yeah, he's the Eagle as well.
Well, I hate 1 o'clock games myself.
Well, I
before
mean,
the
you're thinking
Cowboys.
of that other one that was in Cleveland, right? You talking about?
No, I'm thinking of it'll come to me. He was
That was
nasty.
Orlando Brown, right?
No, the Eagle. He always used to give Michael Strahan hell.
Trey Thomas.
No.
Oh, I know. You talk, oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his son.
His son's playing in
son's playing
Michigan too.
Yeah, I'm talking about. Can't think of the name, but yeah.
I'll think of it.
Because I remember him when he played in Michigan because he was an All-American, the lineman that you're talking about.
Yeah, not Hutchinson, but it's along that line.
Yeah, I can't think of what it is.
John Runyon?
John Runyon.
Yep.
Yeah.
The politician.
Bingo. Nice. Look, he's on the computer.
He's on the Google.
I'm not on the computer.
Google it. Yeah, you are. Look at your
Google.
fingers are cramping.
I'm running all the set here, dude. Okay, I got the whole board.
Though.
Like
You were
pulled
running
that
your mouth
name.
for most of it. Now the set.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn
I'm running all this stuff, man. What are you talking about?
I was trying to get in with some comments. And he was
Good,
just
though.
blah, blah, blah,
That was
blah,
a good
blah, blah.
pull, though. That was a good pull, Mark. That was good.
Come on, man. If I were able, hold on, are you trying to say that I'm good enough to run all of this stuff, look at the chats, and Google something at the same time? Come on, buddy. I'm good, but I'm not that
I've been
good.
running. So.
I've been running
right
too
now.
with you, bro. I've been running like a crazy man. I've got the big sub. We're doing a taco sub tomorrow. We're gonna have the shrimp with
Sounds good.
the cabbage and the.
I don't know how you're gonna do it, but it sounds
queso
good.
in there.
And then I've got like
you're making me hungry
the
right
beef
now.
flap. So I'm gonna grill the beef flap, put on there with some guacamole, sour cream. I mean, just basically, I'm gonna have all the fixings over there for a taco bar.
Mark, you're making me hungry right now.
Mom, you making me want to go out and get a sub right now.
Oh, it ain't gonna be anything like what I got tomorrow. Tomorrow gonna be good.
John
That's why I need to
Hispanic.
know.
He
Is
just make
David
me wanna
Wiley
slap him.
coming tomorrow?
Who's
See,
the guest?
y'all need to go to that tailgate in Washington.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll be
just-
doing that. We'll be doing
I'm
the
just-
pulled pork sub.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
Subs.
Hispanic, so I just want to smack you. Like you gotta bring a different variety, man.
A little.
I gotta bring him. What do you mean?
You over here, like, what you scribing and shit? It just has like cabbage, really
Just
cabbage.
Pastelitos.
You gotta have a little bit of the cabbage
rice.
in there with the jalapeno peppers and things. You know, so
Okay.
you have that little for the shrimp. You gotta have a different topping for the shrimp.
Yeah. Tell
You
you.
look-
Hey,
Mark's
shrimp as
taco.
well.
Okay,
I don't
all right.
know,
Well,
man.
you tell me what I need to
Tacos
do.
and
Then.
tequila.
Kind of
I don't know,
like
man.
you
Go
do
for
fish
fajita- go
tacos.
fajitas
You
or
don't put
something.
regular
I don't know.
salsa on a fish taco.
I could eat fish
Oh,
tacos
that's what I'm saying. See,
all
you're
the
doing
time.
fish. I don't.
No, I think of shrimp and fish. And
How many
in the
times you
same
go to
category.
Taco Bell and get freaking fish tacos and shit? Come on,
That
man.
ain't-
I don't go
that
to
ain't-
Taco Bell.
Well, I'm
man.
not saying
Taco-
they mimic, and they don't even have shrimp
Dude,
in that.
are you
crap.
telling me the shit they serve at Taco Bell I can find in Mexico?
They're probably better than your sub that you're about to put
Probably can.
together.
Oh, see, you know what? I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna look. You know what,
Yeah.
James?
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
I'm
I
gonna
gotta give him a
remember that
shot. I gotta
when
give
we
him a
meet.
shot.
You know what? One day, here's what's gonna happen. Here's what I'm gonna go ahead and do because I'm a vengeful person here. One day, I'm gonna have an RV. and I'm gonna drive it down to Florida and park it right in front of your house, okay? And I'm gonna do a taco sub, and I'm gonna make sure that thing smells so good. You're gonna hear the sizzle on the steak on the grill that's out there, man. You're gonna hear that.
Trust me, Phil.
Okay.
You would enjoy.
And then when we get those jumbo, I'm gonna get shrimp. I was just saying, size of my thumb.
Getting fired up.
I'm gonna get lake shrimp.
Now you're getting Hispanic. I like it.
I'm gonna get those lake shrimp. Okay, get the garlic and stuff on the garlic. Get the cilantro. Get the lime put on there, man. And I'm gonna sit out front of your house on the sidewalk there with a lawn chair, eating my big taco sub. Okay, right in front of your house.
Hey, Mom,
I'm down for it. Mark's trying to make the two Floridians in here just
Hey,
hungry.
Mom.
Oh, well, yes, man, Aisha. What's up?
Mom, what you gonna make on Christmas Day?
For Christmas Day?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got Christmas Eve. It's got to be a cheesesteak. I mean, a steak and
fried
cheese.
Eagles.
It's got to be a steak and cheese again. That's what we're doing on Christmas Eve. A big steak and cheese.
Yeah, I reached out to Philly, for our broadcast. So I'm waiting to hear.
Eagle fans looking to sweep you guys.
Yeah, well, they're looking for a lot of shit. They're looking for love too. Here it is. I'm in the workshop. I was actually really, really proud because I was in the workshop because I had a bunch of different plaques and stuff that I was doing. I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sand these so that way some of the people who are getting these can see them. And so, it's just humming of the tools and everything else. I mean, yeah, here you go. Here's what it looks like, before and after and things like that. And here it is. Eagle fan comes in. We going to win the division. It's like, we ain't even talking about football. You guys are so needy. Why are you coming in here to tell us you're going to win the division on a woodworking video live stream? What is wrong with you people?
Tension.
Can't you read the room?
They want us to acknowledge him. That's what it is. That's all.
And that 27th ranked schedule.
I really think you're right, James.
They just want us to acknowledge him. That's all they want. I mean, we could be.
I'm taking the
talk
high
about
road.
anything. JFK assassination. Oh, somebody go on there. If it was back then, all fly Eagles fly.
This is one of those years where normally the Eagles don't have a very great record, but they like to run their mouth. Mm-hmm. This year, I'm not going to say nothing, man. They're putting wins together.
Yeah, they're doing good.
I still think that we going to beat them when they come to Dallas.
Mm-hmm. So, they're doing good, but
listen,
they act like they won the Super Bowl. That's what
James,
I hate.
I got a question for you or everybody here. Let's say we beat the Eagles, okay, and we run the table. Let's say the Eagles don't lose another game but us, right? So we end up with 14, and they end up with, 15? How can we complain about that, man?
Well, the sad thing is, if that happens, we're the 5th seed, and we got to go to Tampa and basically play everything on the road.
Right. And that's why I was telling James, you want to win.
Rush. Fuck.
Well, that was my point, though, Phil. That was my point. Is what's more impressive, us to be one game back and play 5 games with a backup quarterback?
Yeah.
What's more impressive? Come on now, let's be honest about it.
And who had the 11th ranked schedule?
Because there'll be more Cowboy fans in the stadium.
But I think what'll happen at that point, if we're one behind, then we're going to play that game in Washington. If we're not, then we're not going to end up one game behind because we'll probably sit everybody in that Washington game. If we can't catch the number 1 seed, we're going to be locked into the 5. I mean, I'm telling you right now, we're going to be 1 or 5.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
there's not much more play. So we're going to play the Eagles, knock on wood, in the divisional round, whether we're the home or whether they're the home throughout. It doesn't matter.
But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this game time, Brian. Philadelphia played the Giants last game of the year. They better not lose that game now.
They
better not lose that game.
The way the playoffs sit, right?
Because they better not lose that game.
It's going to be interesting.
Well, you got to see what the tiebreakers are, though.
If they lose, we win out due to tiebreaker because we have
better in the division probably because they lost to Washington.
Right now.
We have the number 1
Actually,
seed.
because they lost to Washington. Because if they were to lose to the Giants, then they'd have 2 losses in the division.
Well, right now they're pretty set up the way the playoffs drop. If you were to do it right now, it would be redemption.
Do not play that stupid Washington song no more.
You had Tampa Bay, and then you have San Francisco, and then you have Philly. That could be a boom, boom, boom. If everybody, like it's definitely set up.
Check this out. If they lose, if Philadelphia lose and we win, that'll drop Philadelphia from the number 1 seed to the 5th seed.
Exactly.
We will swap places.
And I got news for you. Let's how are the Eagles going to do on the road? They've already got annihilated last year against Tampa Bay. Okay, and everybody forgets that. You don't
they
think
have selective
going
memory.
on the road that Jalen Hurts isn't going to start. His stuff's going to start moving around in his head. You know what I mean. So let's just get to that point. I'm not losing faith. I want that 1 seed. It's numbers. It's health. It's game plan. You can't say last year we choked, so we're going to choke again this year. We're a different team this year. Our team is deep, man. I'm telling you, I understand. Our one area of concern is our D-backs, but I have faith in what we're doing. I like who they picked up. There's a lot I love, and I haven't seen this offensive line this deep. Like Mark, I don't remember when the last time we were this deep on the O-line. I mean, can anybody tell me?
Ward family says, I don't think we need the number 1 seed, Jinx, Mark. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having the number 2 seed,
listen, man, you got to stop with the jinx. We got Stu on our side.
You're right about that.
They're red, white, and blue. That's right.
You know what I mean? Don't worry about the jinx. Let's get if we're not the 1 seed, then we're gonna roll not being the 1 seed. But as of now, the smart play is to get the bye, 1 less game. That's where it's at. But it all comes down to who's healthy at the end of the year. Eagles can have the number 1 seed, and Jalen Hurts could get clipped and be out until the playoffs, or God forbid, injuries. It's who's healthy and who's playing good.
Mark Hutton, here's the thing, Mark. You said, where's Jalen Hurts play the last 2 games or 2 due to the record? Here's the thing. Even if the Eagles don't lose anything else, and we beat them, they can't rest their starters.
They
can't rest their starters because of those last 2 games, because if they lose, we've got the tiebreaker. So we can force them to have to play their people and make those games meaningless. That's how we have to keep the pressure on them. If we don't lose anything and we beat them, then they've got us on their ass.
The pressure, a lot of people don't know the pressure's more on the Eagles than it is us.
Yeah, because regardless, we basically have the 5th seed locked up.
Yep.
The pressure's on Philadelphia because they know all it takes is 1 loss. That's all it takes.
The Ward family, Michael Ward says, I'm looking at the last 3 years, the number 1 seed for the NFC. Yeah, you remember last year, it was literally Green Bay got bitch slapped by the 49ers. And the crazy thing about that game was Jimmy Garoppolo only had like 109 yards passing.
Home playoff,
Joanne Gonzalez, what's up, Joanne? Welcome.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
and Rhonda, help me, Rhonda. Rhonda, who was on a date night with her husband last night. No word if they were making biscuits or not.
Ooh, nice. Good job, Rhonda. Nice.
Okay. In which case, I actually need to spend some time with my wife this evening too. But because tomorrow will be kind of a crazy day and stuff. But what are you guys expecting from James Washington tomorrow? Anybody expecting anything?
No.
If he playing, which we know he will, they would play him slowly. You don't want to. This is first game back, and
it's gonna be rusty.
Year, and you don't want to just throw him to. You just don't want to throw him in there just like that. You want to take your time with it.
You need to have him on the pitch count.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You want him on the pitch count. If you get him on a pitch count, let him, as time go on, just break himself in, and once he do that, he'll be okay.
Bring it in.
James Washington, I got news for you. We're going to get more into it at 7:00 on me and Phil's live, but word from the Star is expect him to run and do some deep 9 routes. So don't be surprised, as that's his specialty. He can take the top off the defense. The unicorn is back.
Yeah, and that's the thing. See, and that's what you guys were. You were out still delivering packages. That was the thing that I said that's been missing from us, and in that literally Michael Gallup is becoming more of a possession receiver now. You know, he's not getting the ball down deep. He's averaging about 10.6 yards of reception and stuff, but he's catching balls in traffic. He is now a possession. He used to be the guy that was kind of taking the top off the defenses, but now by hook or by crook, it's evolved because of the knee injury, and you haven't really had a deep threat very much.
Turpin, you had the possibility, but you just never use it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I heard
So
some
you're
nice nuggets regarding Turpin as well. Expect to see more later in the year and in
Chuck
the playoffs.
Mark, he's playing against Tennessee, or you mean tomorrow? He's playing tomorrow. He's on the active roster from tomorrow, and they plan on using him. But and that's the thing, you don't necessarily need him to do a hell of a lot. He just needs to be better than Noah Brown. You know, Noah Brown is about 13.3 yards, and he's having his best season ever because he's actually playing more. But nobody's scared of Noah Brown getting deep. If James Washington can open it up just a little bit, that makes it easier for everything else.
Yeah,
and that's the thing about football. A lot of times it doesn't show up in the numbers what a player does that makes somebody else better. That's where a lot of times we'll see Micah Parsons was like, oh, Micah Parsons had a bad game. He didn't have any sacks. Yeah, but everybody is so focused on him, it opens the door up for other guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah. So that's a good thing, right? If he's gonna, I'm expecting the good things from him. Yeah, they were saying from what I gathered, either leery to send Gallup. It's not that he's. Yeah, Mark's right. He's turned into a possession receiver now. It's not like what he's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're afraid to send him on because it's tiring to run those fly routes.
Yeah.
9 routes. They're afraid he's going to go for a ball and then come down and re-injure his knee. He's not. As much as he's doing well, and you could tell he's starting to break out. These guys are coming back.
Well, he's a bigger dude. He's a bigger dude this year.
Yeah, they don't want to step in jeopardy.
Yeah. Well, Rhonda, actually, the Cowboys are going to invest $295 million on stadium upgrades, which I'm sure they'll make up for with the World Cup coming in 2026. But here's the thing that they're trying to do. They're also putting it out there that they don't want to give the NFL their dig of the gate revenues profit sharing. They're trying to look for an exemption on that because they're going to do it. So basically, the money that they're supposed to be giving the NFL, where Dan Snyder has gotten flack because he's been withholding and cooking the books, he's basically saying, we're going to put money back in our stadium, so we're not going to pay you guys your share. So technically, he's really not paying for it. He's getting the NFL to pay for those upgrades. And they say those upgrades mostly will be things that you won't really notice per se, like for the field and all that. It's more of to get ready for the World Cup.
My bad. Sorry, I had to.
You joke, but that's what Tampa did a couple years ago.
Yeah.
They upgraded the bullets and the freezers for their concessions.
Say that again? They did what in the freezers?
Tampa Stadium, they literally upgraded their pistols.
Yeah.
And then they upgraded the freezers for all their concession stands.
So you didn't see anything. Yeah, you just. But it was there.
The only reason I know that is I used to work for the company that actually did their freezers.
Gotcha.
Did the order? Oh wow.
Yeah, so they can make more money selling more food and stuff on there.
Yeah.
Do they do anything with all the strip clubs that are around it? Because I'm telling you, that place has got to have at least a strip club per capita.
That's what people go for.
A lot.
For the scenery.
Oh lordy. Yeah, I had never seen so many strip clubs before in my life.
I like Tampa though. It wasn't downtown, but it was right by the airport. But everything was in that whole area right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't a bad stadium. I was there 2009, and that year was crazy because that's when the real estate market went belly up. And it was crazy because our flight was late the next day, and we went over to the stadium for the clearance sales. It's like, if you bought stadium gear that has stadium gear from the Super Bowl, it was like $49 for a shirt. The next day it was like 10. So if you're in a Super Bowl city and you want to get some Super Bowl merchandise, go early in the morning over to the stadium because they're just basically just trying to get rid of the shit so they don't have to pack it up.
I was there last year when they played the season opener after they won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That was during the pandemic. There wasn't an
I was there too.
there.
I was there too. Yeah, that's on my video. On my, if you see the video in the opener that I have, it's all from that game. I was like right there on the Cowboys sideline area.
It was cool seeing the Jets go across though. That kind of game.
Oh yes, it was a great vibe. Very good vibe.
But I mean, majority of the time, if you've gone that when Dallas plays in Tampa, even before the whole COVID thing, there's always most of the time more Dallas fans in the seats than Tampa fans. But I mean, that used to be the joke when I lived down there instead of where I live now. Except for a few years through the Dungy years, it was always that way. There's always more fans for the other teams than they were Tampa Bay fans.
Yeah, there was Cowboys fans ready to fight. I was like, dang, during the game, they was like giving this woman a hard time because she was a Tampa fan.
Kathy Stans said back in the day, the ladies of the night would climb in your car. That used to be like D.C. back in the day in D.C. Oh, my God.
That's the only problem with being America's team is fans is that you have a wide variety. And so you always are going to have those idiots and those hecklers. And so, I mean, we get sick of our own fans as well, too.
Oh, my
God.
There's a particular part, though. John King was the quarterback. And I was in Cowboys gear at a Tampa Bay Washington playoff game.
Oh, I love doing that. I love doing it. You're at the wrong game. And I'm all like, but with the right team.
Washington Tampa fans getting into a fight, and I'm just sitting there in my Cowboys gear going.
Just watch.
Sean Coles, you guys haven't been a Super Bowl in 27 years. What makes you think this year is any different?
I love it. I love it. I love it. You haven't been to anything? Yeah, whatever. Keep it up.
That's cool. That's cool, bro. And how come you haven't caught up to us, bro?
Well, I mean, how many years was it for you? I mean, we kept saying that, and then you eventually won one. So it's like,
but when we do win the Super Bowl,
hey, hold on. Sean says, "Hey, Chuck, didn't you lose to the Packers? Hey, Sean, didn't you lose to the Commanders?
Commanders.
Didn't you lose to the Commanders? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Sean.
And what's so bad about it? They lost in the worldwide stage on television.
My home team, my loyalty. I'm at Uptown Royalty.
Hey, Eagles fan, at least we
fight for all.
When our quarterback
didn't you lose to those guys?
But when we do win the Super Bowl, that's going to be a cold day in hell for Stephen A. Smith because all those haters are going to probably retire.
Oh, no, come on, wait, hold on. Let's back this thing up.
Michael Irvin gonna have a field day.
Back it up. Okay.
Stephen A. will retire because he won't be relevant anymore.
Well, Stephen A.
If we win the Super Bowl this year, all of these
Stephen A. will be a Cowboy.
You're like one loss to your three. Well, that's what happens when you go more than once. That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Skip Baylor's mouth now.
Stephen A. will actually hop on the bandwagon.
Three. Nope.
It's the Dan Orlovskis. It's those guys that I'm going to seek out.
Skip Baylor's mouth over Shannon.
I'm going to seek them out. Now, and I'll be blocked on every platform. I don't care. I'm coming after them if we win.
Yes, Sean, you're right. When you play a big boy schedule, and you lose your quarterback and your left tackle, you do lose some games.
I love that. Art make Peacemaker goes, well, they won 3 championships before the Super Bowl. See, they go 27 years, but then, let's go even further back to talk about ours. Are you going to give us crap about our old ones, and then you talk about your old ones? Like, that didn't even count because they weren't Super Bowl. There was like 5 teams. There were like 5 teams then.
Actually, it was 10 teams now. Let's give them credit.
My bad. 5
But here's the thing that's funny is...
Are you going to make the playoffs?
No, hold on. They won 3. Do you know the Lions won like 6? And the Browns won like 9
and shit. Yeah, but
okay.
That counts.
So you were even trailing the Lions and the Browns. Is that right?
And the New York Yankees, I think they were too. Right?
And didn't you have to merge with Pittsburgh at one point?
Cowboys.
You guys actually merged with Pittsburgh.
Right. They didn't have enough people.
Yeah, something like that.
Fired up tonight.
Yeah, it's just come on, man. It's just like you're on our channel and you're trying to bring up facts about your one Super Bowl team. Like,
didn't y'all lose to us twice last year too?
Yeah, it's. I mean, Here's the thing that we can all agree on, man. These are the two teams that are coming out of this NFC East that, hey, man, people are going to have to worry about. Whether Tampa's no longer the threat. San Francisco has a quarterback issue. Now, that doesn't mean their defense won't keep them in games. You got Minnesota that's just so up and down. Yeah, these are the two teams, man. That's why people keep talking about them, and it's a rivalry, man.
Okay.
And that's why I
tell you what, Sean. Okay, Sean, you're right. Everybody has injuries, but you guys went out and signed everybody. We got rid of everybody, and we lost our starting tackle before the season started, and we had a rookie come in. There was nobody out there that looked around and said the Cowboys are going to be the number two, the second best team in the NFC, or the Cowboys. Hell, most of them said that the Commanders were going to finish ahead of us. Some people actually had us as the worst team in the division, that the Cowboys were going to be asked. There was no expectations of the Cowboys being any good. The Eagles, on the other hand, went out there and made all these moves, bringing in all these players. You are the guys that are supposed to be blowing everybody out. So the fact that we're even here is amazing. And I'm not taking anything away. This is the thing about Eagles.
Man, you guys are winning.
Two things can be right at the same time. You guys are a good team, but you don't look at it and can't say you don't have flaws.
You got to know your flaws.
Here's the problem with the Eagles fans. They're not happy with just being us saying, you've done great, as if now you're the best team. They want us to just hand them the trophy now.
That's what it is.
Acknowledge it.
And not play a game. Yeah. All we're saying is, if you don't have Jalen Hurts for 5 games, you're not going to have the record that you have. Nobody would.
I love it,
and the fact that we
11-1, bro. Okay, shout out to Chuck.
That's all we're saying.
Okay,
you guys have done a great job. You haven't had any hardly major injury. You lost your safety. Is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with lacerated. Liver
kidney thing, or
whatever.
Oh, that sucks, dude. I wish him the best. That stinks,
you haven't lost any major.
You know what? Let me do this for the Eagles.
Davis,
hold on. For the Eagle fans, I'm gonna bow down to you guys, and I'm gonna give you the praise that you guys so want and deserve. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give you what you want, man. Okay, let me go through. You are 11-1, and you are the greatest team of all time. You know what? The way you played against the Detroit Lions, where you kicked their ass 38-5.
Arizona Cardinals.
Okay, you know what? And then you followed it up beating Kirk freaking Cousins on a Monday Night Football, because we know Kirk Cousins, he is literally like Joe Montana.
Indianapolis Colts, you won 17-16 on a last drive. That it was
beating Carson Wentz with the Washington Commanders 24-8.
Remember, I was over your house. Yeah. Carson Wentz had the ball at the goal line.
And I'm telling you, the way that you just blew out the inferior team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, 29-21, after getting, 3 interceptions? Bro, you guys are the best team ever.
And Mark, I don't.
Wait, hold on. We're not finished praising them now. The way you beat Kyler Murray. Man, making over $200 million, 20-17. That was a great win. Oh my God. Praise be to the Eagles. And of course, you guys are the Dallas Cowboys backup quarterback killers. You beat Kucher Rush 26-17. Oh, geez. Let me bow down. Come on, Eagles. Seriously? Seriously?
All I would say.
Disney just posted a video.
And
all I would say is they don't give trophies out in the regular season. So listen, Eagles, this is your moment. Okay, if you ultimately win it all, I will congratulate you and say you're the best team. But I'm telling you, when I look at my team, what our ceiling is.
Yeah,
I love where we're sitting. Nobody's talking about us like. James was saying, I'd rather be here than be where the Eagles are.
Okay, but Sean, you're right. I'd rather be that is the bad spot in our game. We ended up losing to the Green Bay Packers on the road to Peyton Manning. To Aaron Rodgers. Okay, you're right. That's terrible. But is that worse than losing to the Commanders with Tyler Heineke? Is that worse? Is that so you beating the Colts 17-16? Okay, wait. You beat the Colts 17-16, and Shady McCoy talks about this is the greatest win of the whole season because we fell behind to the Colts. And you had to come back and win that one? We played a shit game against them, and we beat them, 54-19? Come on, bro.
We were up by 2 going into the fourth quarter. Just think about that.
Cocaine's
come on, bro.
Nice, Mark.
Seriously.
I love how Eagle fans talk about
with 34 points.
The face mask in their game with the Commanders, but they forget about the face mask that they didn't call when Philly played the Colts on that last
Art masterpiece. Shout out to you.
At Mac Daddy's Dogs Catering. I love your channel, bro. You know,
appreciate you, man. Got you on
the time. But I can't wait to eat your heart of hearts.
You lost the eyebrows.
Come on, man.
Game time, Brian.
You blew a 14 lead, and I'd say that's worse.
One time,
okay.
I'm gonna be done with it.
Hey, Mark. Well, Sean, you know what, Sean? Hey, Sean.
I'm listening, Tom.
Hey, Sean. I appreciate what you say, but Sean.
I don't remember asking you a
man, if they lose, especially in the playoffs, if they lose, they're gonna tear that city up, man. Because you know how Philly fans
I'm outside. I'm a good half hour. I'm in the suburbs of South Jersey, but
stay in your house, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Everywhere I go, I see.
So they all know you're a Cowboy fan, right?
Here's what I think's going to happen with the Eagles, because obviously Jalen Hurts is probably going to win the MVP, and there's kind of like a little track that
nobody care.
Why
I just read an article today
in the playoffs?
Yeah,
y'all act like y'all obsessed with that team.
Okay.
Instead of y'all
all right, Jessica. Jessica.
Don't nobody care.
Okay, Jessica, take it down a notch. Take it down a notch, Jessica. We love you. We love your passion, but take it down a little. Okay. We were just bitch slapping this.
I'm just so tired of it. I'm sorry.
I just put them in their place.
Okay.
They only
They're talking about giving Hurts a contract before
Can I
the
say
Super Bowl.
something?
No, you can't.
Also the other thing too, because we got Dak haters that are putting Jalen Hurts on a
No, I'm sorry. I was joking with you, Jessica. Jessica, go ahead. Let Jessica speak here real quick.
Turn it down a notch, guys, because Jalen Hurts is a running quarterback, and we all know the history with running quarterbacks.
Yes, let Jessica speak real quick. Okay, let Jessica say her. Okay, let Jessica say her piece. Let Jessica say her piece real quick. Okay. Go ahead, Jessica.
The only reason they're talking all this is because they feel the Cowboys coming up on their team.
I agree
and that's
with
the
that.
only reason they're talking. So don't nobody care about them.
I agree with that,
All we worry about handling their business, winning game one at a time, and handling the team that we get ready to play tomorrow, and that is the Houston Texans. When we get the Eagles, we will deal with them. They will deal with them.
There you go.
Right now, we don't let them talk.
Mark was just responding to
I was responding to somebody, okay? Putting them in place, Jessica. It's okay. I got plenty of energy to fight off
the fact that
and basically make an idiot look like an idiot. Okay?
Yeah, because tomorrow, if we smash on the Texans, we all know the talking heads are going to say, oh, the Cowboys beat up a crappy team.
Like I said, Michael.
We gonna
I
don't
care. I don't care.
No matter what we do, we're not going to get nothing. So
yeah. I mean, we win 54-19. And it was like, they just gave it
and
to
then
them.
not only that, we also beat the second best team in the NFC, which was the Vikings. And
there's one guy who is annoying me more than anybody that's annoyed me in a long time.
Shady.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. Shady McCoy. I don't know. I missed the start of your show. Maybe you put something out there.
Well, he's the homer for the Eagles.
Dude, it is not even like normal what he's doing. It's not right, man. And I feel bad for David Hellman because he's trying to stick up for us.
Yeah, he argues
Eagles
like a cheating husband.
We're not saying, that's the thing. What do you want from us?
I cannot
want
believe what I would.
everything. You want everything.
He's arguing like he ain't got no room to talk. He don't have any rings. What has he done? He might have had a few good games in Buffalo, but he didn't. I mean, in Philadelphia, but he didn't retire there. So
it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare in a city. Like after the games,
he ain't no Hall of Famer. He ain't even damn near in the conversation.
Super Bowl ring.
Damn, we're going long, Mark. I gotta roll. I gotta go eat something.
Yeah, I need to get the place cleaned up here, and I'm actually getting to hook up with
Come
my
check
man,
us out
George.
at 7 o'clock, peeps.
Yeah, definitely check out Prime Time and Game Time.
Yeah,
but
Hey, Mark, what kind of sub are you gonna make tomorrow?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you, Mark. I'm
I'm doing a taco sub, and I'm having everybody Hispanic mad at me.
A taco sub.
A taco sub, and they're like,
how about a brisket sub?
Yeah, barbecue.
No, I didn't have time to barbecue. I mean,
okay, that makes sense.
We're talking about 20 hours of cooking. I didn't have 20 hours to cook right now. Okay, so, and I'll save that for the Commanders game because we got to do like 3 of those.
Nice.
But this is where it's crazy because when the Eagles won against the Colts, this was shady.
You saying how impressive was that?
Hold on.
Only by 1 point, but y'all got to use
Listen to this
context
shit.
when you think about the Eagles' schedule. Remember, the Eagles got a whole bunch of wins, but who did they do them against? You beat a bad Lions team, a bad Jags team, a bad Cardinals team, a Cowboys team led by Cooper Rush, a bad Steelers team, a bad Texans team. Then the Commanders shook up the whole world
but
when
we'll
they
get
beat
to
the
shady
Eagles
here.
because it appeared as though we knew the blueprint to beat the Eagles. But the Eagles were so impressive because yesterday
they were so
things
impressive against the
started
Colts.
bad. 50 yards rushing is what Jonathan Taylor had. 50 yards rushing in the first drive.
So that was impressive.
The Eagles said, you know what, we're going to show that up real quick. Keep in mind, they only averaged 15 yards a drive rushing allowed in the first half of their season. So when Jonathan Taylor gets his 50, you think it's going to be all bad. Eagles defense, they put their foot in the ground. Then Jalen Hurts, he came out there and he put his foot somewhere else. Fourth quarter, Jalen Hurts, 49 yards rushing, 36 yards passing. Eagles outscore the Colts 14-3, and they got busy. It was the Eagles' most impressive win.
We'll be streaming tomorrow. We'll be streaming.
The score was super wide, but because Jalen Hurts in the fourth quarter put the team on his back.
That's right.
Because the Colts in the first quarter, they thought they had the Eagles down bad. Because Jalen Hurts had to overcome a 10-point deficit. Because there were clear coaching errors, and the Eagles on the road against one of the hungriest teams in football, led by a first-time head coach.
Okay.
Knew what they had to do when they got it done. LaShawn McCoy,
listen to this.
Can you hear that?
You won by 1 point to the Colts.
MVP. They said MVP in Philadelphia, baby. Okay, we're going to talk about that later. But now tell me this. How impressive was the Eagles win over the Colts?
It was so impressive. MVP, Jalen Hurts. Listen, we entered the fourth quarter down 10 points. Let's not forget that. And everybody talked about
who got you 10 points
down? Can they have a come from behind win victory? Can Jalen Hurts do it? Can he do it? Yes, he did. In the NFL, you're going to have games where you don't play well. You're going to have some ugly games, some ugly wins. And he found a way to win. Let's think about this for a second.
Let's think about it. Let's think about it.
He's trying to think of new
game,
shit.
right?
That's what he's trying to do.
They win again. Oh, my God. Now everybody loves him. Everybody hated the hire. But soon he won. Oh, he's the answer. So now his first game at home.
It was against the Raiders.
First of all, did you know there was a sellout crowd? Everybody was there. Everybody named Mama. Everybody in the city went to the game. It was a loud environment. And Jalen Hurts at the end of the game found a way to win. And now they're screaming MVP.
Oh, I like that. Joy, where are you staying? How impressive was that?
I mean, seriously. You beat the Colts by 1 point, and he's talking MVP and how great it was that they came from behind. We end up playing. We played shit that game. I'll be honest. We played shit for that game, but we ended up winning 54-19.
But what does Shady say if it's the other way? If Dallas had barely won by a point, and Dak had, what would the narrative have been? It would have definitely been the other way. It would have no way he would have been saying anything.
It was that way with the 54-19. He was like, they just gave up. They just gave up.
No, they got their ass whooped finally.
No, he was like, they didn't show me anything. They just, the Colts just imploded and just gave up on it. And it was like, what?
This was there, yeah.
Yeah, he is the village idiot for Fox Sports. That's what it is. He is there to go ahead and say a whole bunch of stupid, crazy stuff. He is the Dan Orlovsky of Fox Sports. That's what he is.
It's like a certain role, and Acho moved to the next role, and he moved into that role.
Yep.
It's kind of like that. It's you become the new host, and
then you got David Houseman, who is the Cowboy defender.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like when we beat the Colts, we beat them convincingly. That's the big difference. We didn't have to come from behind and win by 1 point.
Well, to be honest with you, here's what they're doing. Actually, you actually have to look at this and say they're trying to reinvent what originally was PTI. PTI started out with Tony Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon, and it was just those two. Then, of course, it became, Skip and Skipping
No,
Stephen A.
Yeah,
with
I can't think of his
woman
name.
co-host.
Stephen A.
You know, so you had the eye candy. They took it to the next level. Now you've got basically the village idiot who's an Eagle fan, and now you've got the Cowboy fan that's opposite over there. And of course, you have your eye candy with Joy. Okay, who actually really knows her shit, who is more the voice of reason, along with Acho, who is kind of the mouth that kind of roared to set it all up. So they've actually made a good product there. It's just Shady is too much of a homer. At least David, when he talks about the Cowboys, he'll say, yeah, you know, I've been here before where we've been let down. And, you know, he kind of tells it more honestly about the Cowboys. Shady McCoy is just like a big Eagles cheerleader that no matter whatever happens, it's the greatest thing in the world. Oh, we had to come from behind against the Colts and everything else. They could put the team on their back and boom and win. The Cowboys do it. No, they didn't show me nothing, man. You know, that was a team that just gave it to them. It's like, come on. You're not even close to being anywhere near being balanced. And so I tuned in to just say, let me see what the idiot said today.
It's not like the Eagles were down by like 20 points against the Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that they were down for 59 minutes in the game should say a lot.
Mark, Dak ain't gonna get no respect until he win like a Super Bowl. Or at least
He ain't gonna get no respect even when they win a Super Bowl. I can tell you, they're going to say, Dak, the new Trent Dilfer. You watch. That's what they're going to say. Because right now,
here's the thing about Trent Dilfer. He got cut after he won a Super Bowl, but it was the defense that won in that Super Bowl, not Trent Dilfer. The guy was like below average.
Yeah, but that's what they're going to say about Dak Prescott. Guaranteed.
I'd take Jeff Hostetler over freaking Trent Dilfer.
Even Brad Johnson wasn't, you know, a world beater, but, you know, he will win you games, but he mainly rode the code of the Buccaneers defense in 2002 you know, to that Super Bowl victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
it didn't hurt that he had Michael Pittman and All-Star in the backfield.
All right, so prime time and game time, they're getting up out of here because they've got their show at 7 o'clock. And actually, I need to do the same thing because I need to go to the liquor store and get some more of the Blue Carousel for some more Jobu shots for tomorrow. As well as prep a lot of the stuff for tomorrow as well because the game's early and I need to make sure that we're ready for the 1 o'clock kickoff. Any final words from everybody that's here?
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
There we go.
America's team.
Ditto.
All right. Well, good people. I appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. And just remember that the Dallas Cowboys